On my last video, I showed you how I went around the pipe, showed you a little bit more about how I think about squaring, how I put the door wall around, and how I did corners, and now I'm going to continue on. I'm finishing up on my last two blocks, and sometimes you'll hear me say, if you want something to stick, you got to wet it first. But that doesn't apply to block work or brickwork. The only thing holding these blocks down, basically, is gravity. The wall is not strong this way, it's only strong this way. A lot of people go to make retaining walls out of blocks. I would never do that. There we go. Right to the line, perfect. So that's it. The outside we're going to plaster. You always cut it. You cut it. So let's see what I'm doing. I got the rods coming here. I marked it on my wall. I marked it over here. I'm filling the tops. Now I got to put anchor bolts in. So I tie them onto the rebar. And then I put them right in here. I'm going to fill this up with cement and put it right in here. So I fill this hole right up. This is where my rod went. I take the rod and I go all the way down with that anchor bolt. Just like that. Carpenter wants it. Here's the plate. The carpenter wants it up about an inch. So that's my anchor bolt. Go down and meet the other one. Right there. Here's what's going on. They make this stuff called FHA blocks, Federal Housing Authority. They want these blocked up so no termites can get in. But of course, they don't make them no more, so we got to block it up ourselves. That's what we're doing. Making our own FHA blocks. What we're doing is filling this up so no termites are getting anything that's in there. Now, plaster it up. Do a little wet job first. I'm not going to say too much about striking up because I did that all before on my how I do block video. But this is a crawl space, so I'm just going to clean it all off and kind of sponge it because no one's ever going to get down here. Just got to make sure there's no holes. Get a little sponge if you want to. Since it's inside, I don't want any holes. Clean off my footer. Always clean off your footer. In case they wanted to put something down here, insulation, whatever they want to do. The cement. Now this is the picture of my part being all done. Now the excavator and the carpenter and the plumber and everybody's got to come in and do their part. And right now this is just a picture of the whole project when it was done, the addition. I'm going to talk about that job a little bit. Jardy was talking about sleeving through the wall. And you get a plastic sleeve and you put it in your block work and then you put your water line through. And the good thing about that is if your water line happened to break, it's going to break inside here and it's easy to get in and out. Now it all depends on what the plumber wants you to do. That guy who put the sewer line in, he wants the whole thing filled solid because if it leaks it'll come out through the cement and there's no voids in there, because that's usually where you get your break and your leaks, is where your voids are. That's why you want it filled solid. But cement rots copper away, it rots stainless steel away, and it rots rebar away. Here's a piece of a rebar that I ripped out of a footer that was poured in 1973. I think that's what, 45 years? But the reason it came out of the footer so easily is because rebar expands and it breaks. So when you build, you can't be thinking that rebar is going to solve all your problems, because it doesn't. It's only a temporary thing. That old stone wall that I went up against was built 120 years ago. There's no footers, there's no rebars, there's no wall ties, there's no new school thing. They just built solid, God-made stone and cement, which they used lime in them days, and it's going to be there for hundreds of years. But the way they build today, they design everything for 35, 40, 55 years. So when you build it, the only thing holding that wall down is the weight of the building. And when it compresses against the stone wall like I did it, that's what's really going to hold it together. And also, I like to also fill the joints solid, and that solids that up. So I know if the rebar or something rots away down the road, it's still solid in there. That's the way I think. I think a lot of old school things. A lot of young guys, they don't realize this. One of the truths is in the business is block work and brick work is disappearing, because everything's being pre-made. They don't want to be dealing with inspectors on a job. They pre-make everything and they bring it in and they bolt it together. It's already pre-inspected. So that's the way things are going. When you get into these little jobs, you got to get creative sometimes. Now, there's no FHA blocks, Federal Housing Authority. If you did a job for the government at one time, you had to have a solid block on top. Well, they don't make them anymore, so you got to make your own. The idea is that you don't want the termites coming up there through there, so you got to make your own brick and fill it solid, and it's done. You got to pre-think everything, and you got to get creative. And I was lucky to work with the old timers the way they did it. I learned a lot of tricks, and when I do these videos, I like to pass it on. And most of my videos is food for thought. You know, there's no right way, there's no wrong way, as long as it works. That's the big deal. So I hope you get something out of these videos. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Mike Haduck, and that's it.